Hi, this is Erin Hurley, physician and certified high performance coach. And I wanted to go live today to talk a little bit about a workshop I just finished less than an hour ago called Break Up with Pajama Charting. I have had so much positive feedback on the impact of this one 60-minute course or workshop. It has been so exciting. The very first time I offered this workshop back in July of 2022, I got the most powerful feedback from one of the attendees who took the strategies that very next Monday. So she attended Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Monday, shows up at the office, fully packed schedule, hectic Monday. And she said she got 80% of her charts done in real time in the patient rooms and then finished up her charting and left the office by 5:30 that hectic Monday. Her description of that outcome was previously unheard of. I was so excited about the feedback I got from that one attendee that I ran the workshop again the very next Saturday so that more people could have that result. And the ripple effect has been phenomenal. I also realized that some people attend the 1 hour workshop can have results just like the physician did that I just spoke of, but not everyone can implement everything just from the 1 hours and workshop. Many people have ongoing struggles. And so I also have a 4-week course that I'm getting ready to launch again here in the next couple of weeks. So it's not too late to get registered if you are a healthcare provider, physician, nurse practitioner, or PA who's struggling either with after hours charting or with the length of time it takes you to stay caught up with your charts. And we talk a little bit about in-basket work as well. If you missed your opportunity to attend this week's workshop, it's not too late. You can reach out. I'll send you the link to the replay, which will be up by tomorrow. And you can also head to my website at erinhurleymd.com. And there's a recording of one of my prior Break Up with Pajama charting workshops on the homepage as well. If you're like, why didn't I hear about this stuff? If you're not on my newsletter list, head to my website, Erin Hurley MD, and sign up to get the newsletter so you won't miss out on any of the upcoming events virtually. And if you're local, in person, I'm having an in-person event, a vision board session next week. And then I try to share words of wisdom, nuggets of insight that I found helpful to share in my newsletter. So promise, try not to clutter up your email in basket too much, but the newsletters have been helpful for some to stay up to date on what's available. Unfortunately, today I had 3 more people reach out saying, oh, I missed your workshop. I just heard about it. I didn't get registered in time. So again, you may not be alone. Reach out and I'll do what I can to get you a copy of the replay. And then you can also get on the wait list for when my next workshop comes up. And I'll probably add another one on to the schedule within the next few weeks to make sure you can attend live, because that's so much more incredible and or I think so worthwhile. And then we also do a little mini coaching session baked into the workshop so that those of you who are physicians and healthcare providers and you're wondering, like, what does coaching even do in medicine? So much in decreasing burnout, increasing well-being, helping people learn to make their workflow more sustainable, mindset shifts. It's so powerful. I get pretty fired up about the topic of coaching in medicine because I've derived so much benefit from that myself. And so today, yesterday, I went live with Joanne Sotelo, Dr. Joanne Sotelo, a physician coach who's a psychiatrist, and we talked a little bit about some of the sobering realities being a physician. And what we know is that suicide rates in physicians are much higher than those of the general population. One statistic I've seen repeatedly is that for women physicians, our suicide rate is completion rate 250 to 400 times higher than women in other professions. I recently looked on, I think it was the CDC website, and they talked about the general population saw a rate of, I think it was a 37% increased risk of suicide tracking from 2000 into the late 2000 teens. Then they started to see a dip, I think maybe of about 5%. I need to go back and read this, the article. And then what they noticed is that for the general population, that 5% improvement in rates was now right back to where the peak rates were, because suicide rates are climbing, skyrocketing. And what I know from medicine is that many people in medicine were burned out or on the verge of burnout, exhausted and overwhelmed leading into the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit. And the repercussions of the pandemic are not over. They're not going to be over for years and decades. So whether that's us dealing with our own stuff we had, our children's issues, it's just this ripple effect. And our patients have a lot more complicated issues that they're dealing with as well. So why am I bringing up charting and all these sobering statistics? Charting is such a drag on the physical, emotional, and mental energy and well-being of healthcare providers. Research I've seen shows that healthcare providers can spend 2 times more time in the electronic health record on the computer longer than the face-to-face time with their patients. You spend an hour face-to-face with patients, you're spending 2 hours in your electronic record. None of us signed up for that. And the impact of that is that it's getting in the way of connections. Some people are just less efficient at getting it done. Many are perfectionistic. They want to write their chart note like an A+ English paper, when in reality, the rules have changed. There's a steps forward link that I've shared with people if you need that, about how they've decreased the needs for charting to be considered high quality and be enough for insurance billing. We're doing too much and it's too perfect. Do we have full sentences? Do we have bullet points instead of paragraphs? And in reality, those simpler notes may be easier to read for you and your colleagues than your English paper ones. So that can get in the way of doing charting efficiently. And then many people will save most of their charting till the end of the day instead of doing it in real time. And that's a compounding effect. It may take them 3 times as long or 5 times as long to do the chart note at the end of the day or the next day or whenever they get around to it instead of in real time. And so we're losing efficiency, and it's going to be less quality when we put delays in there for finishing it. So many reasons to learn ways to chart in real time. And the Breakup with Pajama charting crams as much information as I can possibly jam pack into. I usually try to make it 60 minutes. Sometimes we spill into after, and then I always stay on for Q&A afterwards. But as much information as I've learned to help provide information about strategies and workflows, new ways to batch the work you do so it takes less time and energy. Too much time to spend digging into that too deeply here, but I just want to plant some seeds because charting is impacting relationships. I believe it's adding to the high divorce rates of women physicians. We have 1.5 times the divorce rate of women in other professions, or sorry, 1.5 times the divorce rate of men physicians. And their men physicians have a lower than average divorce rate in the mid-20s, and women physicians have closer to the mid-30% divorce rate, 35 or 36% divorce rate, which is the same as the general population. And there's so many negative repercussions. So I see charting as a huge impactor on there's a negative ripple effect when we don't get charting done in real time, and when it spills over into our evenings, when it spills over into our weekends. I had one provider today say, I'd love the information for the workshop. Charting ruins my vacations or impacts my vacations. So common. So if you are in need of resources, I do coaching on so many things that helps healthcare providers, physicians in many aspects of their lives. But over the last 6 months, I've found that I can help so many people, especially with that one focus in their lives. And then I see that that frees up time and bandwidth so they can focus on other areas of their life: self-care, health, wellness, relationships, etc. That when we're so buried that we don't even know where to start and we don't have a spare moment, maybe you can spare one little hour to watch the workshop or sign up for the next one and find that your return on investment in that 1 hour. I did some math on this the other day, like an 800% return on investment. 1 hour workshop, you can save 10 hours or more, or 9 hours or more the very next week if you could implement all those strategies and successfully eliminate after hours charting. There's such a cost to the time we spend. And when we're saying yes to charting after hours, we are saying no to dinner with our families. Some people are saying no to a full night's sleep. People are saying no to being able to fully be present at their kids' sporting game. And it just has such a negative ripple effect. And then the reason I kind of linked this charting, is it a silent killer for physicians? I was on a mastermind call with one of my mentors and coaches, Lauren LaHave, and this woman is such a powerhouse. She's packed into a petite little size person, about my size, but she is a powerhouse of a woman. And when I told her about the trainings that I had been doing with charting, she says in this low voice on this call, "I think charting's what killed my dad." And I was like, wow. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I think charting killed my dad. And so I am passionate about, I don't want one more physician committing suicide or one more healthcare provider even contemplating suicide. We lose on average one physician a day every year, one physician a day in the US alone to suicide. And that's not even counting the ones who have thought about it, who have had skyrocketing feelings of anxiety, overwhelm, and depression. And the reality is, physicians are more likely to complete suicide. So in my head, I'm thinking, I may only have one chance. If I miss my opportunity to connect with that person who's so buried and overwhelmed, maybe under hundreds of charts, hundreds of in-basket items to deal with, if I miss an opportunity to create some breathing space in their life, that opportunity may be gone forever. And maybe charting isn't the thing that has you hung up in medicine. Maybe you have some other issues. Let's connect and we can talk about other ways to support you and what you need. What I love is that this week I had one physician say, "Hey, I know 2 people who can benefit from your workshop. Can you reach out?" And we connected. So I'm going to provide them the resources. Another person who was a medical director several months ago said, "These 3 people in my organization need this." 2 of them showed up to one of my early workshops, and then they showed up a second time and not dragged along, but another one of their colleagues joined with them. So there's this ripple effect. And what I'm going to ask you is, if this charting workshop isn't for you, maybe you're not even a healthcare provider, but I bet you know one. I know when I saw one of my healthcare providers, they showed up with a positive demeanor every time. I'd seen them multiple times, and I just got curious, and I was like, "How do you do with your charting?" And they shared they spend 2 hours every evening on their charts. And I was like, "I have a workshop for you. You want to attend?" The next workshop, they didn't show up. So when I went back and saw them the next time, I said, "Hey, how's that charting going? I noticed you didn't show up at my workshop. And here's my card. I'm doing another one tomorrow." And when I was headed to the workshop that morning, I saw that I got a registration from that provider and they showed up. And I'm hoping that they're no longer spending 2 hours charting after their clinic ends every day. I'm hoping that might be 30 minutes at most, an hour. And when we share information, that one person who shared it with 3 people, and then they not only attended the workshop, but they got the benefits of registering for my 4-week course, which is a paid course. But I tell you, the return on investment of that, you get your charting under control and you might save yourself $40,000 or more per year during your career of uncompensated time. And then one of those individuals shared the workshop with another colleague or friend that they knew that had problems with charting or took too long to chart, and they signed up for the workshop and the course. So that one person's action has had this ripple effect. And I think, wow, I wonder how many hours of charting people have saved for all of the dozens of people who've attended the workshop, watched the replay, have implemented the strategies. Maybe sometime I'll have to do a query and see if I can add all those hours up. It's a ton, because I see that the results that just one person is having. Can you help me with this ripple effect? If you know a physician or healthcare provider who might be spending hours or even not even getting a lunch break because of charting, let them know there's resources for them. Send them to my website, erinhurleymd.com. I have a replay up there, up and running. If I do a better recording, I'll replace it with an even better one. They can email me. They can sign up for my newsletter list. There's so many resources out there. And so don't let this opportunity pass you by, because you may not know who's struggling with depression, overwhelm, suicide risk. They might put on a happy facade and you have no idea. And what if that offer of help, support, to share information is that thing that they needed to shift the trajectory of where they're going in their career? What if it allows more providers who are ready to quit their job? I've heard that. They're ready to quit their job. And by getting the proper resources, whether that's the Break Up with Pajama charting workshop, the Eliminate After Hours charting course, or working in a group or one-on-one with me or another coach who understands as a physician what they're going through, to go from dread and overwhelm every time it's time to show up for work to sustainability and hope. It's so possible. So with that, I'm going to ask you, would you do me a favor and potentially tag someone, share this video, tag the physicians and healthcare providers you know, and let them know that there's help and support? Because if we can't talk about the realities in medicine, that people are, the work is literally killing us the way we're doing it. And this workshop shares, here's how you can do it differently and get so much different results. My hope is so that being a physician, working in medicine no longer has to be a risk to our own mental health and well-being and ongoing life, because we have learned different ways to do medicine where it's healthier and more sustainable. I would love to see in the comments, any new information that I shared that might have been a shocker, or something that you weren't aware of, something that you think would be another topic that's important to talk about healthcare providers or physicians and the struggles that we're dealing with. And then also, again, share this with people you know. Tag the healthcare providers you know. Tag people you know who know healthcare providers, because I would guarantee they might be struggling in silence or suffering in silence, but tag them anyway, share it with them anyway. And you never know, you may never hear what the benefits are from that share of information. But with time, we're going to see this bigger impact. And I'd love to see you as part of that. With that, I'm going to sign off. And until next time, I will see you for sure next Friday at 10. What time are we meeting? 2 p.m. Pacific time, Friday, 2 p.m. Central time on Friday with my friend, physician coach Joanne Sotelo. And I might be on live again another time between now and then with some other things that have come up that might be helpful. So I'm glad to see you here today. And until next time, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.